Fire me up, Brady! Ah!
Let's go!
This guy's silky. Yes, sir. Welcome back. It's Hump Day. Hump Day. Hump Day at Chicago Hockey Radio. I'm Lee Grossman. With me, as always, is my partner in crime, Justin Lynch, a.k.a. B-Hawks Memes himself. Got Raven Gasser on the ones and twos. Tassos Kirkos here, too. We are at full strength today. We've got a big show. We've got Jeff Blashill's introductory press conference to talk about, break down, get into. We've got a couple of Eastern Conference. We got a couple of conference finals games to break down that we both streamed Monday and Tuesday. We got Mount Rushmore. We got Memorial Cup. We got a lot going on today. But before we get into any of that, hit the subscribe button right now on this YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so that you know when we go live. Follow the Instagram, Chicago Hockey Radio. You can stay up to date on all the stuff we do. We've been posting a ton of content on there. Follow the Instagram. And if you listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, make sure you give us a 5-star rating and review. And if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and download the show when you listen to it. That stuff boosts our metrics. Those little things go a long way for us. So please do that if you listen to us on Apple. Okay. All right. Justin, how are you doing today, first of all?
My name is Jeff. No, I'm doing well. It's a very nice Wednesday, middle of the week here. Obviously, the playoff hockey has been, well, it's happened. I would say it hasn't really been the most enticing conference finals of all time in my lifetime. It's probably been amongst the least impressive, but no, it's happening. And the cup picture is becoming pretty clear here. I think we kind of know what the matchup is going to be. And I think a lot to talk about in Blackhawks land, which is nice. It's sick. I think I get kind of lonely, when we not talk about Blackhawks hockey in the Hawks Hour, man. It's nice to actually have some things to talk about from that perspective. And looking forward to getting into Jeff Blashill's first press conference.
Obviously, since the Blackhawks season ended, haven't been able to do a whole ton of Blackhawks talk, but today we've got it.
We've got plenty in store today.
So that press conference did come out yesterday. I assume you watched the whole thing.
Yes, I did. I watched it once, and it was so good I watched it twice.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I watched it once yesterday live, then I had to watch it again to get the clips together today that we'll get into. So I really soaked in that Jeff Blashill presser.
Okay, so I'd love to get your overarching thoughts on the whole press conference.
Ooh, overarching. I like that.
How do you feel about Jeff Blashill, the decision now, how he spoke? What are your overall thoughts?
Well, look, you can only take away so much, right, from a 30-minute presser. It wasn't even really 30 minutes. It was less than that. And for some, that Kyle Davidson was talking, getting, the usual softball questions. So I don't really care much about what Kyle Davidson had to say. It's more about Jeff Blashill. And I must say, first impressions are good. Like, he is clearly very well spoken. He's clearly an adept hockey mind. He knows what he's talking about. Clearly a very good interviewer. I could see why Kyle Davidson hired him, right? He probably was able to talk his way into that one pretty easily. In all seriousness, no, it seems like he has it. He seems to get it. Like, he seems to understand where this team is at and where he fits into it. Seems to understand what this team needs in balancing development and winning and all that, et cetera, which is super important. This young Hawks team, obviously, he mentions the fact that they have potential superstars at every position, offense, defense, goaltending, and how unique that is to the NHL. And not every team has that in the prospect pool, or even on the team right now, for that matter. So I think he acknowledged that this team is in a much better position walking into it than that Detroit team he was saddled with back in 15-16.
Yeah.
Obviously, the experiences he had under under John Cooper is going to help out a ton. You know, he knows exactly. He mentioned it. He knows exactly what it takes. We're not guessing here. He knows exactly what it's going to take to get this team to the top, or at least he says he knows. And yeah, I just think overall, I was impressed. You know, again, it's all talk. At the end of the day, it's all talk. You know, go out there and do it. You know what I mean? I think actions speak louder than words. But I think for a first official day in the job, I think he did a good job. I'll give him credit. Yeah, I feel cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. I finished that press conference and was like, we might need to hire this guy as the next president of the United States. Like, this guy is. I was shocked. Like, what an impressive orator. The way he expressed himself. He was confident but not cocky. He was saying all the right things. He really did seem to have the correct understanding of where the team's at and what the team needs. He was as specific and as concise as he possibly could have been without giving too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It was motivational. I tweeted, I'm like, I'm all in on Jeff Blashill. He got me in a fucking 30-minute press conference. That's all it takes for a guy like me. I don't even like, I'm all in on Jeff Blashill. Let's get to work here. Kind of joking there, kind of serious.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, I was a big fan of Luke Richardson at first, after like that first season or so, and then what happened? So it's like, yeah, it's like he could get off to a good start, but he's got to keep that going, right? We don't want this to be another pit stop coach. And you know what? From the way that looked, I mean, it seems like this is a guy that could be here, you know, for the long haul. But we shall see. He seems to have, like you said, the correct philosophy and style for this team to go forward, and I'm be curious to see how he balances that. Yeah.
It really is like the most, like, I don't know. I think if we look back on this entire next era of Blackhawks hockey, like if we look back 15 and 20 years from now, this really is like the most crucial part of
the legacy move.
It's the development of these young players that we are hoping are going to be turned into Stanley Cup champions. It's like you can't mess this up. So yeah, I'm hoping Jeff does a great job. He seems like he's got, you know, a good head screwed on him. And I'm also a fan of the assistant coaching staff.
Yes.
If you wanna break that down and what we know so far.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of were already told it, but it was confirmed. Anders Sorensen, he lives. Anders lives. He's staying on as the assistant coach of the Blackhawks, which I'm cool with that. I've always said it. As long as Anders isn't the head coach, I think, you know, he's in depth hockey mind, and apparently he's pretty good friends with Jeff Blashill as well. They're pretty familiar with each other. The players like him. Why not keep him around to kind of keep helping out that development? I think he can kind of bring Blashill up to speed on a lot of these guys and where they're at and what they need for their development, right?
And I do like that, not to cut you off, but I do like that Blashill acknowledged that in the press conference.
Like he's going to need help. He's not going to do it alone.
Yes.
I think that's going to help out a ton too. Like, I'm not really sure what he's working with in Detroit, but it does seem like he's going to have a pretty good staff around him. And he had full control over it pretty much too. It's good to have some continuity, right? And we have that. Not just Sorensen, Jimmy Wade staying on as a goaltending coach, which, I mean, the wonders he's done for a guy like Soderblom. Like that's, I'm all for that.
Yep.
I'm not really sure about other guys like Derek King. I know Kevin Dean's gone, but I don't really know about the rest. I'd imagine either they'll stick around in another role or they're moving on. But there's only so many assistant roles, right? So what's the rest of the staff going to look like? I think they're also keeping the video coaches too, by the way. So that's good. I think they've done some good work there. So, you know, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep the roles that you know you got set there. But I'm glad that they have a new assistant staff. I said it before, where it's like you can't just have a new head coach. You got to have a new assistants as well and a new staff. And for the most part, we're going to have that here, which I think is important too. And they're clearly very. It seems like they're very qualified. I mean, Michael Peck, obviously coming from New York and was a player in the NHL for a while, two-way beast, Selke guy. Can I kind of help these guys become better two-way players? I believe Blashill alluded to in one of his quotes there. He's going to want to see winning hockey on both ends of the ice. So I think definitely some remarks there that definitely we can get into more. But I think that's what you want to see, especially in the playoffs. He brought that up. You know, you got to play like the teams that are left. And I think, you know, having, you know, players in that forward core can play good two-way hockey is important. Defense too. And also, this one hasn't been confirmed, but Mike Vellucci from Pittsburgh, assistant coach there, has been connected to the role. It hasn't been officially announced yet, but Frank Saravalli said it's pretty much they're closing in. So once that closing in tweet from Saravalli comes in, I think you could pretty much say that's done. So, so Vellucci, Pekka, and Sorensen around.
Saravalli also adding that that Vellucci was in consideration for a lot of head coaching positions over this cycle. So it does really seem like we're gathering the Avengers a little bit here. I'm trying to be as bullish as possible as I can about
the best we can do with like this market, right? Like at first I didn't really believe that, but I do think the assistant coaches are more important than people think. Where it's like I wasn't completely sold on Blashill, but if he has a good staff around him, I think they can get the best out of him, and they can get the best out of each other. I think he mentioned it, you know, building relationship. That's a big part of why I wanted to come to this Hawks organization. He feels like it's the right people to work with. He mentioned this is the right job at the right time. Like, he just seems really fired up for this, which obviously you would expect that. But I do feel like sometimes as coaches, you don't really get that vibe. Whereas Blashill, no, like, he clearly seems extremely like psyched up for this role, which at times maybe we didn't see that out of guys like Sorensen and Luke, like that emotion. He definitely feels like a guy who has that emotion, is going to stick up for his players, and hopefully the refs too would be nice. I think it'd be nice to see a little more of that. So yeah, he has the experience, right? 25 plus years at every level. He's won at virtually every level except the NHL, so that's the last hurdle to climb there. But hopefully second time's a charm. I think he has the right organization, the right tools to work with here. He's just got to hone them.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense that he'd be this excited. I'd imagine since he was fired from Detroit, he's been thinking about this moment all 3 years, just waiting to get back on the saddle and be a head coach again. And I think he probably looks at this opportunity and sees some similarities in past teams that he has won with, granted the lower levels, but like, look, there's runway here. We've got a ton of talented young players that he can mold into a certain system and identity and turn them into winners. And then it's like, oh my gosh, if he's able to do that and succeed with these guys within a couple of years, like, he could be regarded as a legend in the city. Like, realistically, you should lick your chops over an opportunity like this, because and we'll get into it. Like, he did face some tough questions, but like, as hard as and as difficult of a place and city this is to be a coach, if you succeed and you're able to win, you're appreciated forever.
You'll go down as a legend, right?
Yes.
The leash is very short here. I mean, not just with the Blackhawks. We've seen it with Bears land too, and pretty much everywhere. You don't get a lot of runway here, but if you can make that work and take advantage of the opportunity, you'll go down as a legend in your industry and an all-timer. So we've been looking for that next guy since Coach Q, and hopefully the fifth time is the charm here. That would be nice. Yeah,
I agree. We've got a lot of clips here. Let's start diving into them.
Yes, sir.
The first one is about is Blashill on the young talent here on the Hawks.
As I spoke about, I had the opportunity to go back and look at a number of the games, especially at the end of the year, where some of the young guys had just arrived and played, some of those seasons. And I've known some of these guys for a while. A number of the draft picks played at the National Team Development Program. When I lived in Detroit, I literally lived 5 minutes from the rink. I had the opportunity to see that team play a lot, so I know a number of those players because of that. Watching at the end of the year, obviously the job, and congrats, by the way, to the U.S. team for a great win at the Worlds. I'm glad I got to add that in. We've been waiting for that for a long time. So with Jimmy Johansson, we're thinking about you. But so that's to watch the job that Alex and Frank did at that tournament, those two in specific. I got to watch more of the U.S. games because of that. I just think it's a group of young guys who are really talented at each position, and that's a very unique thing. And again, does that mean there's not work ahead? No, we got a lot of work ahead to make sure that we're teaching the right fundamentals and habits that it takes on a daily basis to become the two-way players that are needed to win championships that you see in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs right now.
Man, we just made history, folks. That is the first ever Jeff Blashill clip. No more Anders clips. Get ready to run Jeff, buddy.
And I already saw it from Evan in chat. # more Blashill clips.
Let's go.
More Blashill clips.
I'm looking forward to Blashill clips, man.
Too.
Something tells me he's going to be a very clippable coach. I mean, even from this press conference, he had quite a few moments that stand out to me. He reminds me a lot of my old high school lacrosse coach, actually. The baldness, like the aura, like the way he talks is like the exact same way Coach West, if you're watching, a shout out to Coach West.
Damn, shout out to Coach West. Sounds like an electric guy.
Oh, yeah. He reminds me so much of Sorensen because he feels like a teacher. He's a coach, but he's a teacher.
You mean Blashill?
Yeah, Blashill. Like the way he breaks down like the game and things like that, and his strategic philosophy and game plan. It definitely feels like he has that type of outlook, that college professor outlook in a way. Yeah.
Does this fire you up here?
Yeah, by the way, I don't know if you could see it, but Alex Vlasic posted a picture of him and Nazar winning the gold medal together on his Instagram today, which I wanted to bring that up after obviously Jeff watched those games. So that just fires me the hell up. Shout out to Team USA again for winning gold, and looking forward to seeing Frank and Alex and their impact next year. I think those two will be great on the squad.
Yeah, so Blashill mentions the end of the season and getting to see some of those games and the way the young guys performed. And obviously, I'd imagine he feels the exact same way as we do about those final games, and that's those last few games of the season, and once like Moore and Renzel were up, like it really did completely change our perspective on the outlook of this team and in the near future and maybe the future further down the line. And so I think he's probably seeing those same things. And that's what's so enticing about this job to him is like, oh my gosh, look at the way they ended the year. Like that's just the beginning.
Dude, it's a hell of an opportunity, right? It's kind of what he started to get like his last season in Detroit. Like he had guys like Lucas Raymond and Mort Satter came in who won a Calder under him. The type of impact he could have with guys like that, like the Levshinovs and the Renzels and the Vlasics is really enticing. But he's getting that right away. He doesn't have to like work for that. It's not like he's coming out to this Hawks team at the end of the Kane Tays era, like 17,
like
18,
Colleton,
right?
you know? Like
he skips that whole process, right?
This
Where
is
it's
the
like,
best
this
time.
is everything from here is the uphill climb.
Correct.
There's no like, so yeah, he doesn't have to. The hard part's kind of already done. Now it's like he's got this runway to work with this talented cast here. So it's like there's really no excuses. You know what I mean? He kind of has everything here, and I think it's also up to Davidson to give him a little more to work with too over the offseason. But I don't think he has to do too much there. I think we already have quite a bit of a nice foundation built here at this prospect pool. So you got to think the roster we got at the end of the year is going to look pretty much similar to the start of next season. So I think it's up to Blashill now to start forming those relationships. I know he's already reached out to Connor, and I'm sure he's reached out to a few other guys. And I know he's coached a few of them in the Team USA, I think, development program as well, NTDP, and he's coaching the Worlds as well. So he already seems to kind of have some relationships with some of these guys. I think is huge. And start building those over the offseason. Right? I think that's really important for them to take advantage of this offseason and just be ready to go for next year.
One thing I do want to spend a little bit more time talking about, kind of that you just mentioned, of like. It's only up from here, and like yes, a lot of there's still
still a long way to go.
There's still a long way to go.
Yeah,
There's still going to be tough moments. There's still going to be hard periods of the season. Like we are not under any illusion that like it's going to be sunshine and rainbows from here on out. And
playoffs?
Yeah.
Playoffs?
Yeah.
No.
But like the most brutal part of the work is done.
It
like
is.
like. We know we're going to be watching this young team.
The real Blackhawks.
The real Blackhawks from here on
With a
out.
real coach.
And so, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be so much better from a fan perspective because we're past that point of like, oh man, we've just dropped three in a row, getting blown out 6-1, 6-2 on the road. And we've got, insert veteran who's not going to be here for more than a year. Craig Smith, Pat Maroon, we're done with that. We're done sitting around watching TJ Brody wondering what's next. Like we're not watching TJ Brody, Alec Martinez and thinking to ourselves, where are we going from here? We are so far away. Even when the bad times happen, and like there's going to be blowouts this year. It's a young team. It's especially a young defensive team. Like there's going to be some rough games.
Oh yeah.
But there's always going to be that silver lining this coming season of like
we're watching these grow and develop and learn. Right,
like,
it's important, right, to get those reps of these young players. There's going to be a lot of growing pains. There's no doubt about that. But we will be watching real Blackhawks all year. But by the way, you brought up TJ Brody. That Hawks tweet over the summer of TJ Brody getting bought out is going to absolutely feed families. We will be feasting. I think that will deserve an emergency pod when that news drops. Breaking down the TJ Brody buyout.
Or maybe just like a fucking party or something.
Yeah, like a CHR party get together over the summer. That'd be pretty. That'd be absolute cinema. But no, I think those are all great points to bring up. I think I finally see the vision. By the way, you know what Jeff Blashill kind of resembles? He kind of looks like Ian Hawke from Alvin and the Chipmunks. He's kind of got that same flow going and like the glasses. No, it is good. You know why? Ian Hawke, he never loses. Jeff Blashill will never lose. I see the vision now, Kyle. I mean, I guess he kind of did lose in the movie, but
yeah, he didn't. He wasn't able to keep the Chipmunks around. So
yeah, true.
Hopefully, Blash will be able to keep the Chipmunks around, i.e., Frank Nazar, Connor Bedard, etc.
That's right.
No, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm super excited for this next season. And because it's like even when the going's gonna get tough this year, there's gonna be the bad moments, but it's like a life thing. Like all those bad moments now are going to be like these young kids facing adversity is just going to be learning experiences for them, and that's okay. It's okay to like for it to not be easy because then you're going to come out stronger and better. And that's a life thing. That's not just a hockey thing. So, yeah, I'm excited for next year. Okay, let's move along. We've got another clip here, another Blashill clip, and here he's talking about balancing development and also winning.
Balance developing young players against wanting to win games right away, especially for veterans on the roster as well.
It's a good question. I've actually been asked that question a lot through my coaching career, even at times in USA Hockey stuff and stuff like that. The balance between development and winning, and I've always felt like they go absolutely hand in hand. Once you kind of have your team, the best way to increase the ceiling of your team is for those individual players to get better. And that's not just the young players. That's asking Nick Foligno to make sure he continues to improve his game in finding different ways to be as successful as possible. And certainly it goes to the young players as well. Ultimately, when you have a group of young, talented players, again, if your ceiling's here and you can find a way to keep developing those guys, your ceiling goes up and up and up. Hello?
They lost the mic for a second there. That's where the clip caught out.
They're playing hot potato with the mics after that.
Yeah, so we'll cut it there. But that was a pretty funny moment in the press conference. But no, I think that's going to be a conundrum, man, for Jeff Blashill to develop there, because I feel like Luke Richardson he's a good hockey coach, but I feel like he kind of struggled when it came to balancing development versus seeing that progression, especially for roster that's more veteran laden. He's going to have a younger team to work with. He's going to have to strike that balance. Like, I'm sure Kyle Davidson is going to expect improvement in the standings. Fans are going to expect improvement. They're going to expect more wins and points. But it's like you can't, sacrifice that for what the most important part of next season is, and that's development.
I think that the situation for this question specifically, it's a much easier situation for Blashill to do it than it was for Richardson. Yeah, because a key thing I want to say there is, he said once you have your roster, and I think that's very important, because it's like last year it was like, yes, it's all about development, but you only had like 3 or 4 young kids in the lineup.
For like 75% of the year. It wasn't really till the last quarter that we saw it. Yeah.
So it's like that was a much trickier task last year.
Yes.
Like that question was way more relevant last year, because it was like, oh no, we just made all these free agent acquisitions over the summer. We just brought in all these guys, all these veterans. And so it's like, what are we supposed to do? Is it about development? Is it about winning? But this year, Blashill's going to be playing game 1 with, probably a 26-year-old.
Might be one of the youngest. Might be the youngest roster league. There was a bit of a question mark last year amongst what does this Hawks team want to accomplish? Yeah. We didn't really know last year, because it was just such a tricky conundrum of the transition. I think it's pretty clear what the identity of this team is going to be next year, right? I mean, I think this Jeff Blashill hire speaks to the fact that, yes, I don't think we're speculating there. I do think next year's roster is going to look pretty much exactly identical to the way it ended. All the real Blackhawks that are ready are going to be here. The ones that won't could be in Rockford, and a couple signings here and there you go. The roster's filled. So it seems pretty clear that next year's season, for the entirety of it, is going to be all about development. Yeah.
And there's I'm going to say this now, and I'll stand by it next year too. There's not going to be. I'm not wanting this team to lose at any point, even if it's a rough start, even if we're halfway through the year and we're still kind of towards the bottom, and Gavin McKenna is starting to creep into the back of our brains. I am never going to say that I want this team to lose, because it's like this is it. This is the development path. I'm going to be rooting for these kids to win every single game.
Yes, we can't be doing that, Lee. Like we got to keep this upward climb going. It's nothing but up from here. There's no reason this team, shouldn't see at least a 15-point improvement next year. 75, 80 points. I think that's a pretty realistic expectation. We don't even know what the roster is exactly going to look like. That's just me basing off of the way last season ended and potential moves and the way it'll look at start of next season with a new staff. I would think that's a pretty realistic expectation. You got to keep that upward climb going. You got to see that the rebuild is progressing the right way. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I don't want to be doing Gavin McKenna talk in the 2025 portion of the season. Maybe the 2026 portion of the year, second half of the year, maybe we could start talking about him. But no, we're not going to be.
If we're talking about Gavin McKenna, it's going to be because hopefully we can get lucky like the Islanders.
Exactly right. I don't want to be bottom 3 or whatever. If we're 7th, 8th, 10th from the bottom, I'd be happy. That's a solid season, I think. Yeah,
completely agree.
Yeah.
All right, this next one's a big one. Obviously, a lot of people are in Blackhawk land, and anybody who talks about this team is going to be quickly going to be speaking about number 98, Connor Bedard. And so here are Blashill's thoughts on him.
Connor's going to get to another level. I don't think there's any question, because like other superstars in this league, he has the drive, the want to be the very, very best he can be. And there's zero doubt of the ability that he has. When you watch him with the puck on his stick, both his ability to shoot pucks, his ability to create plays and make passes is really, really elite. There's zero doubt about that. I've again had the opportunity to coach different unique offensive players, and everybody has their kind of strengths. I would say Nikita Kucherov does it much different than Braden Point does it, different than Henrik Zetterberg or Pavel Datsyuk did it. It just they're all kind of have their unique strengths, and so working towards Connor's strengths I think will be important. And then just part of the process of any young player that I've ever coached, and I've had a lot of opportunity to coach guys not just on the teams I've had in the NHL or the American League or college, but also at the U.S. With the U.S. Men's Worlds teams that I've coached, and helping them become the great winning type players that you have to be in order to compete like the 4 teams that are left right now. And so that means you're all those winning habits, making sure you're stopping on pucks, making sure your changes are great, making sure your short shifts, all those things I think lead to the development side of a winner. And then there's also the development side of continuing to find ways to separate yourself. In Connor's case, how can he separate himself with the puck to create a little bit more space? Because when he has space in the offensive zone, he's excellent as we stand here today. So all those little ways, whether it's with your brain, whether it's with getting a little bit quicker, those types of things I think are in place to help him create that type of separation, and then also guide him into becoming that winning type hockey player that we'll need him to be.
Hell yeah.
I love that. I love how he doesn't like sugarcoat it or temper
like where it needs
expectations.
to be better.
He's not like he's still a young kid. Like he's still got a lot. He's like, no, like when you look at other superstars, he's got that insatiable drive to be better and be better than anyone else. And he quickly puts him in the same conversation with some future Hall of Famers. That's what I want to hear, you know, because it's like I'm so done with this like wanting to shield Connor Bedard from. It's like no. I know he's a young kid, but it's like if he's gonna be great,
can handle it.
He can handle it. And so I love that quote from Blashill.
I drive, Ryan Gosling reference, but no, I love that praise. It's like we know that, man. If you watch a show, you know that the belief in Connor Bedard, we know exactly what he can be. But it's like, all right, well now it's the time to do it, right? I think he has the facilities, right? The best players, no matter what the situation, can get the best out of themselves. So I think the conversation here should go to, you know, what do we want to see out of Jeff Blashill and Connor Bedard's relationship? I know he's already reached out to him, he's already talked with him. That'd be a pretty good skip, by the way. What that conversation was like, Jeff Blashill to Bedsy. Got some ideas there, but I think it starts with hopefully let's not give Connor Bedard 69 different line combinations next year, right? I think building that chemistry with the young players, you know, playing with Frank Nazar, Moore, Lucas Reichel, playing with guys like that on a nightly basis. So help develop that chemistry, right? Give them consistent line mates in, but also like, yeah, you got to develop those winning habits out, Bedsy. Like for as much as I will say, like I will critique Bedsy from that standpoint. I think his all-around game could see some improvement, right? His defensive game did improve last year, face-offs a little bit, but there are some things, some habits I think he could work on. I think he mentioned the short shifts, for example. Like sometimes he'd be staying out there a little while because he likes hockey so much. He wants to stay out there, and which again on that Blackhawks team last year, I don't really blame him. I mean, who else is going to accomplish anything, right? So I didn't really mind it last year, but that's not really, you don't want that to be a theme moving forward, right? You want to develop those habits, especially now when you're not really at that playoff type level hockey yet, right? And yeah, I love that he brought up the puck separation too. That's a big thing. Like he seems to know exactly where Bedsy needs to improve. You mentioned getting a little quicker. I'm not sure if that was in that clip or not, but I know he brought up at some point. Obviously, Betsy's probably. I think that's the main thing he's working on right now is finding a little bit of speed. But yeah, just not being afraid to pull him aside and talk to him every now and then. In practices and stuff, and just tell him, this is where you need to be better, and this is what the expectation is, right? Got to hold these players accountable. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're Connor Bedard, got to be held accountable. So I like that. Man. Yeah,
I'm excited to see what Blashill and Pekka can kind of mold this kid into, and because obviously, look, we want the thought this whole time ever since we drafted Connor Bedard was this is going to be our 1C, and so it's like if he's going to be the 1C, he's going to have to get significantly better at
two-way.
Both sides, the face-off dot, all of the above. And so it's like it really is a lot of those small minor details that you hone in on, and that's what separates the greats is you're able to consistently do that in game 2 of the regular season as well as the conference finals and the Stanley Cup final. So my only concern is turning, because that's what I feel like happened under Richardson is almost you turn too much focus to the defensive side of the game. I do not need to see Connor Bedard playing on a line with Jason Dickinson. I don't need Connor Bedard playing on a shutdown line with really solid defensive guys who aren't doing much offensively. Let the kid be free, give him a long leash, but then just emphasize how important those things are to get his game to the level we all hope and want to see.
You still got to give him that leash, right? You still got to let him make those mistakes. He is still a young player in this league. I mean, he's going to be 20. He's not going to be a teenager anymore, but, you got to let him play his game and play to his strengths. So I do think, to be fair, he did bring that up, right? That's a balance to strike there. I do like that he brought Nikita Kucherov, by the way, because I know that's a guy you've compared Bedard a lot to what he can be, and I do see a lot of similarities with those two in terms of their playmaking and their vision and their passing and even their shot a little bit.
Like the way they slow the game down.
Kucherov isn't blazingly quick, right? He's just quick enough. If Betsy could just find a little bit more, that's going to make a huge difference in this game, because Kucherov's he has an extra step, which is able to give him kind of that time and space. Once Betsy is able to figure out the time and space thing, like, that's going to open up so many opportunities.
Kucherov's also, like, absolutely unbelievable in the corners and
puck
along
battles.
the wall. And so, like, those are things that, like, Betsy's never going to be Nate McKinnon or...
No, he doesn't have to be.
But it's like, you can
be Kane or Kucherov.
You can do stuff like that.
Yeah,
you
or
can
Matthews.
you can be that dangerous and impactful without having the blistering speed. So,
Exactly. He's got to be better, like, his play away from the puck, I think. And because I think he has that hockey IQ, it's just a matter of, showing him. I think Pekka too. Like, that was a really good two-way player. So it's like, if they want to make him a 1C, that's definitely a guy who could help, bring him up to speed there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Any other Bedard thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I wonder what he's thinking right now. Right? Hopefully he's psyched up. I think he is, and because I think if you're Betsy, you want to take advantage of this, man. Like, this is going to be your second, third coach of the Blackhawks now, so you want to make this one work. So I'm just excited, man. I think. I kind of like that we haven't heard much about Betsy this offseason. It kind of feels like the calm before the storm a little bit. I think he's got a plan there.
He's locked in.
I'm just really looking forward to next season, man. Like, this got me really excited. I know we're like 4 or 5 bumps away, but I got a good feeling. I got a good feeling, man. Like, I really think last year was like, okay, we took our punches from the media. He took his punches from the media, and I think we're going to start punching back next year.
Oh man, that fires me up.
That better be in the clip.
Yeah, that was a banger. What's up, Instagram Reels?
I was writing with that one. I was cooking. I could see what they're doing, what he's doing.
I'll give you your flowers for that one.
He's cooking.
I was sharp.
How's Patrick sharp?
So it wasn't. It wasn't just cupcake questions. It wasn't just layups. This next one is definitely the one of the hard ones. This is Blashill on the timeline of Blackhawks.
BC5. You talked about getting the team back to a championship level. How many years do you expect that to take? Because Chicago's a tough town, not just the Blackhawks, but our teams here don't give the coaches more than a couple of years. And even those that win championships only make it maybe a decade or so, if that. So how do you feel about that, playing in this, coaching in this type of city, being a tough city to coach in, and how soon could you get to that championship level?
Is that my welcome to Chicago
Yes,
moment?
welcome to Chicago.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll never put a timeline on that. I can't. I have no way of knowing how long or how quick. I didn't know when I went to Indy if it would take us multiple years. Honestly, when I went to Indy, I didn't know if I was going to make it till Christmas, to be honest. That was my first head coaching job. My kids, 2 of my kids were 1 and 3, and I wasn't sure what to expect. I didn't know when but we ended up winning a championship, and we won it faster than people thought we would. I didn't know when I went to Western how long it would take to get that program back to a level of relevance. In that year, we ended up going to the NCAA tournament for the first time, and however, I didn't know when I went to Grand Rapids how long, and we ended up winning a championship and had success after that. You just don't know for sure. I know what it's going to take, and I know process is the most important piece of that. So what I will say to you is I won't rush the process for a timeline. I believe in the process. I was able actually to see a pretty unique in a different sport when I was in Detroit and watched Dan Campbell his first year have very, very, very little success, but I watched him continue and stay strong and build a culture. And when you see those types of experience, it's a good reminder to you as a coach, you have to make sure that you get that culture in place. And once you get that culture in place, the winning takes care of itself. So I don't have an answer how long, and to be honest with you, that's not really what my worry is. My worry is making sure we do it right from day one, and we continue to do it right on a day-by-day basis.
That was the right answer. Which, by the way, that was not a Jeff Blashill question. That's a question that should be directed to Kyle Davidson, what the timeline is. So I think he handled that pretty nicely. And yeah, it does tell me, by the way, which if we had some question marks about, is this guy just a short-term guy, pit stop coach? Everything we're kind of seeing from the way he was talking, even the way Kyle was talking, that presser, like it does seem like he's going to have a bit of a leash to work with here. I mean, that's what they always say. I mean, obviously things can change, right? But actually, I brought this question up to the chat to my Seahawks followers, by the way. I asked, how long does Jeff last? And 1 to 2 years got 57%, 3 to 4 years got 28%, and only 15% said he's the guy. So I think the bottom line is maybe Hawks fans, I mean, myself included, because I know I've been a skeptic a little bit, but I'm starting to change my tune a little bit. But there's going to be skepticism, right? He's going to have to win fans over, right? I'd say right now probably the majority are skeptics, even myself included. But he's already kind of starting to win us over, and I think, yeah, like the more he can just show us, not just talking, but show us the philosophy here and that progression, like he's going to win people over. It's going to take time, but it looks like he's going to have that time to work with. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that none of these questions can actually have right answers, but I think he actually
kind of nailed that one.
I think he actually had the correct
He's
answer.
a politician,
there.
just like KD.
But it was masterful in a way that like he called back his prior success in similar situations and was like, hey, you know, there were question marks when I was on this team and we got it done. And yeah, as the head coach, you can't put a timeline on that. Like, obviously, that would be shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, we'll be in the playoffs by 26-27. Yeah, and then that means if you say that, you don't get there, you're gone. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, smart on his end to like kind of half answer that. But yeah, I don't know. It's just everything he said. It seems like he has a plan and he sees the vision with this team, and so that it's just so exciting to hear.
Hopefully it's not Dutch's plan, but our hopes and dreams rely on Agent 47 here from Hitman. He's even got the red tie going, man. All bald people, they look the same to me, man. But it seems like we're bringing a legion of bald men. I mean, Sorensen's bald, Foligno's bald, Artie Lepshab is bald. I'm liking this, actually. I see the vision, KD. Yeah, the aura.
We just need we need like dad strength to get this team over the hump.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Okay, we got one more for you guys. This is Blashill on his coaching style.
Question. I want to score a lot and give up a little. Let's start there. Without getting into like real detailed in terms of schematics, I would say it's more kind of the overall philosophy I just talked about, where we want to make sure that when we don't have the puck, we're a pressure team, and we want to take away other teams' time and space. And you can do that a number of ways. You can do that through your gapping and your squeezing and using your defensemen to take the puck out of the opponent's hands as quick as possible. In our end, trying to spend as little time in our end as possible. On the forecheck, making sure that we're aggressive on the forecheck, and again, just making it feel like the other team has to earn every inch of ice when you don't have the puck. When you have the puck, making sure that we're predictable to each other, and by being predictable to each other, we can play faster. And then as you play faster, now your talent kind of comes through. I've had the opportunity to be an assistant in this league under Mike Babcock and John Cooper, and at their respective times, both were thought of as two of the best coaches in the league, and they certainly were great people to learn from, unique, different styles. Some of what I'll take from them is schematics and X's and O's, but some of it's just on different ways to lead and different ways to do things. And Coop has a unique way about him that I've really enjoyed the last 3 years, kind of being able to observe and see the connection that he's been able to have with his players. And it was a reminder to me that that's when I'm at my best, is that same kind of connection with players. So certainly take a lot from all those guys, but also a number of the coaches that I've worked with. They've all had an impact on me as a coach.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up Jeff being president, man. It's like he's like a Jeff Obama over there, man. Just he's such a wordsmith, such an orator. It's like I could see himself talking his way into anything. But but he gives good answers. Like, it's not just word salad. Like, he actually backs up his points really well, and he just seems to understand. He sees strengths and how to play to him. He brings up his speed a lot. But it's one thing to have a team full of young players that can skate. But how do you take advantage of that, right? He seems to understand the forecheck, pack check, pig check system, right? And Letterkenny referenced there. And I think if you utilize those talents there to the best of your ability, you can succeed. Yeah.
For me, I think the key for Blashill to succeed with this young group over the next couple of years, it's not necessarily just like about his, because he didn't really dive into the X's and O's there, but it's like, it's not just going to be about the breakout, and it's not going to be like, oh, we've got fast players, so let's be aggressive on the forecheck. This team is going to require a coach that is able to make adjustments on the fly and not just have, hey, this is how I want to see you guys play. This is how we're going to do it. like if it's not working, he needs to be able to tweak a system.
That's a good point.
And one that favors the group that he's got.
Because I do see some similarities of his coaching style. I see some similarities of the defensive schematics and stuff to Luke Richardson. And sometimes he had a hard time getting the players to buy into that. And sometimes it would stifle players' creativity and not let them play to their strengths. So he's got to be able to balance. Okay, play to my system, play to your strengths. You got to be able to balance that approach there. Yeah.
Yeah. And also one thing that makes me bullish on that front is like he's acknowledged and talked about how developing and building relationships with these guys on and off the ice and how important that is because
feedback is crucial. Communication.
Exactly. Because it's like if you want these guys to buy into what you're trying to get them to do,
you have to convince them that that's going to get you to the promised land, right?
Yeah. And they've got to have respect for you and they have to trust you. And so I think the only way to do that is by building positive relationships.
And he does seem to be a respected guy. I mean, he did last 7 years in some really shitty Detroit teams over there. And obviously, those 3 years under Cooper should do him a lot of good. He's learned from some of the best. So, cautiously optimistic, man. Like, are there better? Sure. But I think there are definitely worse options on the table than Jeff Blashill. And the more and more I hear him talk and the more I look into him and research him, I'm starting to get bought in here, man, which is a dangerous game. But
I know, don't get me too excited.
Hopefully, he proves us. I was going to say proves us wrong, but now I'm going to say hopefully he proves us right, right? We're starting to give him that faith. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do, man. I think we've been needing some fresh blood here in this Hawks coaching staff for a while, and just excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, me too. And it's like we're gonna be thinking about it all summer long, and we won't know anything until training camp and preseason
right now, right?
But yeah, I'm excited and I'm praying for his success, and yeah, I'm more convinced now than I was before the press conference. Yeah, I'm just excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, once again, though, at the end of the day, I intro with this. I'm going to conclude with it. It's great and all. It's all words. Like it's you can say all these great things and wonderful things. Show me on the ice, because Richardson was a pretty good orator too. Show me on the ice. Show me in game time. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
Okay. Yeah. I think that will pretty much wrap our Blashill talk.
Yeah.
Unless you had any other thoughts, I think we can start getting into a little bit of news here. This happened a couple days ago, but the Islanders did announce Matthew Darche as their next general manager, obviously after Lou Lamoriello getting canned. It seems like this guy's been kind of in the conversations
for a while
for GM talks the past couple years, being an assistant general manager and director of hockey ops over at the Tampa Bay Lightning for a number of years now. Kind of felt inevitable. Good hire for the Islanders.
Well, I think anything that's not old man Lou is an upgrade, right? I think he was probably holding them back a little bit, and I'd say since his tenure's been gone, things have kind of started to look up for the Islanders there. There's such thing as karma. If you believe in karma, the fact that they get the first overall pick right after, and I think they just need a fresh face there for a while. I think the Islanders have been in desperate need of some fresh blood, so I think it's exactly what they need, and yeah, I think he definitely can help lead them back to playoffs eventually, and try to build that prospect pool, which definitely will get a boost in this draft. Please hire. I think my request to Mr. Darche would be I would definitely draft the hometown boy, James Hagens.
Yes.
Jimmy Hagens at number 1, so Michael Misa could drop
It's
to number
what
3.
your fans want.
I mean, Hagens clearly has the biggest ceiling in this draft, right? I mean, I think he's the clear number 1 guy. So, I mean, I think if it were me in that position, I'd definitely be taking James Hagens as the number 1 overall pick. So that would be my recommendation to Mr. Darche, free of charge. Yeah,
completely agreed.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be very appreciative for you dropping that little tidbit of knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Look, Mr. Darche, your entire fan base wants you to take James Hagens at 1 here.
Don't disappoint your fans, man. Make the Islanders fan an Islander. Although he did say, it's funny, James Hagens did say he's a big fan of John Tavares. So, like, how big of an Islanders fans really was he? Because most Islanders fans can't stand John Tavares now. I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah.
He was a little baby when it happened, honestly.
Yeah,
he was like 10, so...
I don't think he was in that crowd that was chanting, JT, you suck, when he returned to Long Island.
Probably not. Maybe he was when he got
Barzy's better.
Yeah. And then the Bruins hire Marco Sturm as their next coach, making him the 4th European coach in NHL history,
Wow.
which is
He joins Anders Sorensen. I guess Sorensen probably wouldn't be officially included because he was an interim coach. I don't know if they get officially included in those talks there, but no, good for him. Seems like a good option on the table there. I'd be curious to see if that was a guy that was in the running for this position, actually. We still don't know that, by the way. One more thing about Blashill. How did nobody in the press conference ask KD, like, oh, who were the other names? Who else did you interview? Like, that would be the first question I'd ask if I were up there, but I'm not Mr. I don't have the credentials.
There really weren't many questions at all for Kyle Davidson.
Yeah, I didn't even include any KD clips because there wasn't really anything that was worthy of putting in there, so I just made it about Jeff. But anyway, back to the Bruins here. No, good hire. I think that's probably amongst the best. I know they're also looking at Jay Woodcroft and guys like that. So I think it's a pretty good hire there for them. Nice to get some fresh blood. Once again, I haven't seen a lot of European coaches. They have sometimes a different style, right? But I think that's probably what they could use, the Bruins, is some fresh blood. So I do think that can't be it, though. I do think as long as Don Sweeney is there's only so far they're going to go. But in terms of coaching hires, probably amongst the best they can do at this current moment, this market. Yeah.
What do you see? Like, do you think they're going to try to retool this offseason and try to get
no
back to the
idea,
playoffs?
man.
Because it's like, you don't actually believe that even if you, like, okay, you're going to retool this team? You think they're going to win a Stanley Cup right now?
If you're the Bruins, I feel like you have to rebuild, but it's like it feels like they're trying to retool, and I just don't know. Like, I know Pasta's him, but like I just don't think him, McAvoy, and Swayman alone is going to get the job done. Like, there's just no depth in that team right now. Yeah, unless Lindholm has like a bounce back season and they get more, but like
and they got a couple bad contracts too. It's just
I just don't know what you do, man. It's like not like you have the assets to like bring in a ton of like talent here to help make this team better next year. So it kind of feels like you have to get a little lucky here, and maybe somebody falls in the draft or whatever.
And they're
like,
really not. And they're really not like the best free agent destination.
I wouldn't say so.
Because it's like you're probably gonna have to overpay guys to get them there.
Exactly.
To convince them.
They'll be showing up for guys like the Ehlers and the Bessers and people like that. I'm sure they'll be on the table for them. They'll be looking at guys like that. I'm sure they'll be one of the teams in on Mitch, I would imagine. The Rachel brings up a good point. Yeah, the Bruins, they're not really a rebuilding team. They always kind of try these retools, and to be fair, they have tended to work pretty well in the past. But I'm just not sure they quite have the facilities this time around. But we'll see. You never know with that team. They oftentimes find a way to make it work when you least expect it. So coming off one of their worst seasons since the 90s, we'll see if they can where they go this offseason. It's definitely a conundrum for sure. I don't really have the clear answer, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just feel like if I'm a free agent and I see the way they ended the season,
I wouldn't be interested.
I'm not like jumping at the opportunity to go there.
No, because I don't think that team's going anywhere for a while, honestly. So I think I'm kind of stuck in no man's land right now.
And I think they have a pretty clear ceiling right now. It's like, okay, this team could not make it to a conference finals.
And they have no prospects, man. They have they literally, I can't even think of Fabian Lysell. There's one. I literally can't even think of another top Bruins prospect at the top of my head. I'm sure I'll get a bunch of actuallys in the comments. But every time I check prospect pool rankings, the Bruins are always like near the bottom of the list, sometimes dead last. So
and it is kind of funny that like the Islanders kind of made a push almost for the postseason at the end of this year, and the Bruins did the opposite and kind of had like a mini tank.
I love actually.
And they got screwed.
I was petrified about the Bruins being the team to jump up and get the number one pick because they've been rebuilding for 5 seconds. So like. I don't think the Islanders really, they got lucky, but I'd rather a team like that gets it than the Bruins, because like really, I could just totally see them waltzing in that top pick. So I'm glad that they actually dropped it. I think they have the 6th pick or something like that. So actually fell a little bit. So you'll love to see that. Always love to watch. Always praying for the Bruins downfall. Couldn't happen to a better organization. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
And then Marco Rossi has become a more popular name on social media, and over the past few days, his name being on the trading block. We kind of heard about this all season long almost, that like the Wild didn't really view him as a long-term piece there. Is that a guy you'd be interested in the Hawks getting on? Like, I see that guy, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I know a bunch of silly geese are like talking about how the center position on the Blackhawks still kind of up for grabs. But I think if you're able to get a guy like that, like he could be a third-line center without a doubt, and a good one at that, I'd argue.
He's proven, man. Look, 60 points. I don't understand why the Wild don't like want to make this guy part of their future. Like, the last couple of years, had a solid, first rookie season in the league. Dropped 60 points last year. Like, he could easily drop into that number, to that 2C spot right there. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, I'd be interested in him for the right price. I mean, trading block, offer sheet, whatever way you can make it work. I think the Hawks are definitely listed amongst one of the 4 teams that are, have already checked in on them. So I do think that kind of answers the question. They're at least looking at him. So yeah, if you could do it for the right price, I'd do it. Give up, I don't know, like a second, late first, or, early second, maybe a B tier prospect, whatever, or 2. If you can make that work, I'd do it. Like, Like we already have so much here where it's like we need to get more established pieces. You know what I mean? Like this is what we've been barking for. And he's young too. I mean, some people will say, oh, he's undersized.
Yeah,
like
a
guy like that with that talent, I do not care, man. Like you can have size in the bottom six and the D core and the like when your guy's already proven you could play in the NHL and like at this level, like I don't really care about his size. It's the same thing with James Higgins, by the way, too. A lot of Hawks fans tweaking about that, where if he's available at 3, I don't want to take him. It's like he clearly appears to be the best player available at 3 with Misa and Schaefer on the board. Like I would take him. I wouldn't be tweaking about his size, to be honest with you. I would take Porter, but just the Hawks just don't really seem that connected to him. Not to bring this back to the Blackhawks here. My main overarching point here, it's 2025, and we still have people who are like, oh, they got to be 6 foot if they're 5'11 or 5'10. No. Like how are we still having these conversations, man? It's baffling to me, honestly.
It is like, and I sent you a funny. I sent you a funny.
It's like that magic. It's like hockey fans are like women. It's like you got to be at least 6 foot or they're not interested in you. It's crazy, man. I
actually want to read this comment. I sent the screenshot of this comment to Justin last night. It was just on a video about like who the Blackhawks should take. And this guy commented, I'd take Higgins and run with it. The Hawks are in a position where they need the best offensive talent available, and that's Higgins. He's fast, smart, skates well, and drives offense, and is a hard worker. He's young and could possibly grow an inch to reach the magical 6 foot that everyone creams over. Nazar is 5'10 and didn't look out of place or outmatched against anyone.
I do see the concerns come playoff time. Like you do need, like I do think you need the Chucks and the Bennetts, but you can acquire that. It's not like that has to be drafted with the 3rd pick in the draft. Like that's something you could find down the road in the the trade deadline or free agency or what have you. Like Hossa, we got him. He was like the last piece of the puzzle. You know what I mean? So it's not like that's something you have to get right this second. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I would rather a JJ Peterka than a Marco Rossi, though.
That's fair. I've seen some proposals thrown out there, like Hawks, trading the 3 for the 9, and then Peterka and other parts involved. If you're not going to take the obvious best player at 3 and you want to reach for somebody like a Denoyer or Brian or whoever, I've seen some proposals thrown out there. I don't know how much weight they have, but I think a Peterka on the Sox team would be that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. I'd be down for that. Maybe have a good chemistry with his countryman Lucas Reichel. Get the best out of him. We're still kind of waiting for him to explode.
I do kind of think that nothing's really off the table for Kyle Davidson in this draft, though.
It does feel like it. I mean, what a prediction about to make. Kyle Davidson's going to be aggressive at the draft. We've never seen that before. Mm-hmm. We've never seen him make moves on draft day. Nope. If it's not free agency, he's going to be aggressive in the draft. Suits and ties going to pay the guys, and that's what KD is going to do. Yeah.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
Okay, before we hit a break, you want to do a little Memorial Cup talk?
Yeah, let's get some Memorial Cup talk. I know, amongst the hockey that's being played, I think that's clearly the tournament that speaks the most to Lee Grosman. I know he's really invested in that Canadian junior hockey. But, yeah, they got 4 squads in the Memorial Cup. We were kind of watching on the side last night. Medicine Hat Tigers, Gab McKenna land over there. They already punched a ticket to the final last night for a win over the London Knights. So the London Knights, by the way, it feels like they're always at the top of the game when it comes to junior hockey. London Knights will play the winner of tonight's Moncton-Rimouski game. The Rimouski is the host country, not the host country, the host city for the Memorial Cup, and Moncton Wildcats are the QMJHL champions. So OHL versus the Q there. We'll see who comes out on top. The winner will face, London, like I said, of Moncton and Rimouski, and they will face the Medicine Hat Tigers in the final. So I guess that Medicine Hat Tigers, can go on vacation for the next week or so, because they look like they get to wait a while for that final matchup to be punched there. So we'll be curious to see what occurs there. But yeah, that Tigers team is absolutely loaded. I mean, it's not just Gab McKenna. They got the Caden Lindstroms and the Richies and all that, and the Bashas. That's an absolutely loaded squad. So definitely feels like the favorites.
And it was their depth who scored last night too.
Yeah,
so.
Mm-hmm. I do got to bring up one more thing. Gab McKenna. I don't know if I realized how much of a Blackhawks fan he is. I don't know if you saw that segment on TSN the other day, how Patrick Kane and Taze, those two were his favorite players to watch growing up. Yeah. And apparently he wasn't just a fan of those two. He was actually a Blackhawks fan growing up. It's he lives in the Yukon territories, or at least he did. And it's so I'm just curious how that came about. You think he'd be
he was a kid
and they were
living in the middle of nowhere, and they were the best team.
I just would have assumed he was a fan of the Canadian teams, but he's pretty basic. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, respect.
I hate to see it though. I don't want to grow too attached to this kid. It's now he's gonna try me in. It's oh shit.
I wish I didn't see that.
I really wish I did see that, man. Hopefully Gary Batman sees that, and he gives us the Islanders treatment next year for one last go around there, and they can really start cooking in 26-27. But no, I respect him for that. I respect that, and hopefully we can get the cousins reunited there. That would be absolute cinema. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it would feed families. I tweeted yesterday. I said, can he pull an Eli Manning and tell all the other teams that he only wants to play for Chicago?
Or I pop us up before. KD, get those birth certificates forged and let's just draft him now, buddy.
Oh my gosh, that would feed families.
Oh, could you imagine? I'm telling you, like that guy could play in the NHL next year. Honestly, he could be like a Max Verstappen, 17, playing in the pros. I think he could do it. Yeah,
could be a Max Verstappen. Wow,
that's right.
You are special with the with when it comes to the F1 references.
I am special. Yeah,
out of nowhere. Yeah, dude. I mean, McKenna Bedard together would be amazing for the NHL.
that'd be Kane Tays on steroids.
Be amazing for us. It'd be
the
amazing.
business. Yeah, that'd be business. Paul Businessness. Yeah, that'd be elite.
It would
Elite.
quite literally feed families.
Yeah.
All right, we've got the games, the playoff games to get into,
Yes,
as
sir.
well as a Mount Rushmore. So let's do that after the break. Keep it here. We'll be back in a sec.
You son of a This guy.
Oh, look at that! We got
Wow, we are back. We officially have a tie right now for Mount Rushmore. Lee Graza pulling off some last-minute shenanigans of his burner accounts, and he has tied Bjork Memes for the Mount Rushmore lead. By the way, I think y'all are going to absolutely love this one. Me and Lee pulled off some absolute cinema bits for this, and it went over everybody's head in the comments. Nobody got what we were going for. I guess our genius was just too frightening and too much for people to comprehend. You'll see it, by the way. Overrated players, Mount Rushmore. I think they're going to find this one very entertaining.
Yeah, not to mega brain, but Justin and I did kind of both mega brain this draft, and the comments were absolutely shredding us. We'll get more into it after the. Let's roll it. Without further ado, here's Chicago Hockey Radio's Mount Rushmore of overrated players.
Hello and welcome back to the Mount Rushmore segment of the show. And this time for everybody, we have the Mount Rushmore of overrated players.
Damn.
And
All time?
All time.
All time.
Current and active. Active and current and all time and retired. And with the first overall pick in this draft, we have the one and the only Mr. Justin Lynch.
Well, I think I know exactly how to get people to know it's me.
I'm already going to write it down.
I mean, based off of this season, you think this kid is doing something that's never been done before. He's been told that he's better than Bedsy. Give me Macklin celebrating.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wait, is that actually?
I knew.
Are you joking?
No, that's not how I put.
Oh, who'd you put?
I'm not going to say.
Wow.
Oh, I thought he was thinking of somebody else.
Jeez,
there.
I'm scared now.
All right, Raven and Tim. Most overrated player.
I think we're gonna go with Alexei Yashin.
Of course.
For a second.
Natural 1-2.
Alexei Yashin. Pick number 2.
For the
I don't know why we laugh at.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I keep giving him shit. I'm
I
sorry,
keep thinking
guys.
like if this was
Bullying
like
the
a
dumb kid, bro.
motorsports draft.
Oh, you
Yeah,
be
dude.
getting
you guys laughing at me.
Baseball
doing the
draft,
same
over.
thing. Typey.
I would literally respond if I were you guys. I would be like, every time we do this to you, I would be like, you guys are fucking losers. That's what I would do.
Max Verstappen.
for the second straight draft, I will be drafting Austin Matthews.
No!
Sorry, we need a moment, Tassos. Wow.
Just messed up my.
Well, maybe he can do it now.
No, I'm still gonna do it because I'm picking fourth, so I get back to back. Give me Mitch Marner and William Nylander.
Get ready, we're in Chicago, buddy.
Damn it, Tassos! Why? Seriously?
He knew exactly what he was doing.
Austin Matthews?
Oh, I know who I want for my second
When
pick.
you walked out of the room a bit ago, I told these guys to stay away from the core four because I was going to pick all four of them.
Well, he wasn't in the room, so.
I know. That's why I'm telling him right now. Damn it, dude. How did he know?
He has a sixth sense.
That's your goat.
I am, with my next pick, going to draft Connor Bedard.
Oh, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
You are
evil. Shameless, my
I think
guy.
that might be shooting
Shameless.
yourself in
And
the
I'm
foot.
still going to win, and I'm still going to
intentionally-
win.
Chicago Hockey
And I'm
Radio.
still going to win.
You're
What's
not
wrong
gonna
with
win.
you?
I'm going to win.
How
I'm going to win.
dare
I'm going to
you?
win this whole thing.
How dare
You are
you?
not
watch.
gonna win.
How
You
dare
watch.
you?
I'm going to win this whole thing.
Like
You
Greta
guys are
Thunberg.
done.
How dare you?
You're done.
The Pookie slander is getting out of hand.
You gave up a lead that you've had since the beginning.
You're gonna win this.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna
taking
get it back,
Connor
man.
Bedard. That's how little you think of our audience. How dare you? Shameless.
I'm speechless right now.
With our next pick, we are taking Seth Jones.
That's
well done.
Oh,
Very well done, sir.
oh, damn it! That's a good one, man.
That is a good one.
I'm intentionally throwing this because I'm going to stick with the bit. So
Oh
I
man!
don't care.
All
What's
right.
one?
For my next pick, I will take. I don't know. People actually thought he should have won the Calder over Bedard. Give me Brock Faber. Alex Vlasic clears
That's
Brock Faber.
crazy.
I don't know what man. You think
People
he was
are
doing?
definitely going to know who yours is.
Celebrini, Brock Faber. I think they're good. Oh, I know who I want for my next pick. I'm go back to back, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Give me Celebrini's friend, Will Smith.
That's crazy.
Nazar clears Will
That's
Smith.
crazy. You just took Connor Bedard. Connor Bedard is overhated.
Exactly. If anything, he's underrated now.
Yeah.
Honestly. Whew.
Oh, yeah, no, it's you guys. It's you guys.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna go Rick DiPietro.
What? Are you guys throwing this outside of the Seth Jones? You got Yashin and DiPietro.
Seth Jones alone is going to win them this.
Yeah,
they already won.
They literally might
That was
have
a
a
good-
chance off of Seth Jones.
And Seth Jones, we pray.
I need to think about this. Because I want to rub it in your guys' face that I'm going to win this.
If you
by
win with
picking-
Betsy, like, I
by
quit, I
still
quit the
winning
show.
Connor, by picking Connor Barrow, I'll still have a top 2 finish in this. No doubt. No doubt. In this,
You think
in this
so
draft.
highly of yourself?
Wow.
No,
It's all the burners.
Austin Matthews was a good pick. If I followed up with 2 more good picks, let's see. Trevor Zegras.
That was a guy that I was gonna take if I wasn't doing a bit.
Okay, that's it. You're up. You got 2.
John Tavares. Oh, what a great leader! Great turnover in Game 7 there. Can't skate for his life. Give me John Tavares and Morgan Riley.
Huh?
Since Tassos robbed me of my core 4.
You sort of got it.
I got
Yeah.
Riley. Bro took Connor Bedard.
I can't believe that.
We
man.
should like assault him for that.
I know. I feel like we can't let that stand, man. Unbelievable.
I already see people in chat losing their minds next week.
Oh, I know who I want with my last pick.
Whose turn is it?
It's mine.
Oh.
I'm thinking about things.
Oh. Should I rush you?
No.
Today, Junior. Billy Madison reference.
Give me.
He has no clue who he wants.
I know.
He's just buying
No,
himself
I have
time.
like 3. There's 3 different choices I have here.
Hmm.
They're both like. There's 4, but one of them I don't really want to pick. Give me Brock Besser.
Yeah,
It's a shout.
yeah, that's a fair one. He's had like 140 goal season. People say he's like one of the best goal scorers in the league. Like, oh,
But isn't he like consistently like 60 plus points?
like 50, 60. Yeah,
50?
I mean, it's all
More
right.
50 than 60.
I mean, for a guy that's probably going over $8 million. I don't know. So,
Yeah.
I don't know if
Is
I
it
Yeah.
We're gonna take Cam Barker.
Cam Barker. Oh, that one guy, Tom, or is it Thomas a big Cam Barker fan? He's gonna lose his mind.
Justin with the last pick.
Yeah. Ivan Demidov with my last pick. I think they'll be wondering exactly who this team is. Demidov, Celebrini, Smith, and Faber. Yeah. Ivan Demidov. Artie Party clears. Yeah.
Okay. That was an interesting one.
That was fun, actually. I like that one.
All right. And that was the draft of the most underrated player. Or
Overrated.
Overrated. I feel like I keep saying underrated.
based on your answers, you might think it's underrated.
Have we done the underrated one? I don't think we have.
No, we have not.
Yeah. We'll do that, yeah.
Okay. We will see who wins this. And
Well, would you look at that? The team that took Connor Bedard as a most overrated on a Mount Rushmore came in last place for a Chicago Blackhawks audience.
Who the hell could have predicted this, Lee? And I knew I was cooking with those picks, man. Although you know you were cooking too. The 2 men who do the bits. We tied for first place, 31 apiece. I'm not really sure what the tiebreaker is going to be for that one. Maybe we can do some arm wrestling or something to figure it out. But yeah, I think he was Tassos Kopios at that Bedard pick. It was a bold strategy that didn't quite pan out for him.
Yeah, maybe it was just rage bait for like social media. That's that's the only way I can like positively spin that pick.
I could see that. I could see the vision there, maybe, if that's the case. Yeah.
But still a shocking decision there nonetheless.
There were some people in the comments who were absolutely eating that up.
they
Mine too. Yeah, my whole strategy was, just basically, Holt says it. Justin just used this on players he hates the most, and I love it. Hey, it worked. The strategy worked. You can't blame me for the strategy. It worked.
Yeah, and I was thinking, I mean, strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's hating on the Leafs now. Let me just shit on them.
I'm laughing to the bank. Ha ha ha. Chief Keef reference.
Wow, that was a good one. A nice little Chief Keef deep dive there.
That's right.
That was a funny one. I did not believe him when he said that he's still gonna win it. He also said that he'll finish top 2.
I think we finished last. Let me see.
Yes. You don't even have to.
Yeah, I did.
This, I promise you. Tie there. I mean, kind of some funny, some shenanigans going on my end. To be fair, I didn't. I always vote for myself with the burners, and I didn't, and I just did it now. So I guess that's kind of cheating.
That's all right. No, I can. You're a little behind there. I can give you I'll let you have this one.
No, I was gonna do the same thing for you. I was gonna say,
well, you really? What a nice swell guy here.
Yeah.
We're just so humble over here, man.
We're so humble.
Yeah, no.
It would have been funny if you were like, all right, fine, I'll take it.
Oh, that's very gracious of you, Leah. I haven't won in a while, so I'll take this one. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, we're both coping. That was a fun
No,
one.
that might be the favorite Mount Rushmore we've done. When we do the Mount Rushmore, CHR Mount Rushmores, I think that should be the first pick.
That's a 1-1 in your mind?
I think so. Yeah, that was fun to rewatch that one, actually.
I don't know, man. Pump Up songs really moved me a lot.
The playoff Beards ones, I don't know. That was a pretty good one.
Sure, that one's up there too.
Yeah, it's up there.
Okay, all right. We got some games to get through. The Monday game being the one that I streamed. The Hurricanes stay alive, win Game 4 to force a Game 5, which will be taking place tonight, and I will be streaming that live on our YouTube channel, Chicago Hockey Radio, with my brother in Christ, Tim Tebow. You guys love him. You miss him. You always ask about him. Tonight, you're getting Lee and Tim Tebow. We're going to be like prime Kobe and Shaq. So be there on the stream tonight. Okay. Couple of things to talk. I mean, I guess there's a lot to talk about in this one. Obviously, Florida resting a couple of their big players. It was a close game. It was a close, tight checking game that I've kind of been waiting to see out of this series the entire time.
Yeah.
And Carolina finally put together a 60-minute effort, and they were able to win the game. It was a big bounce back from Mr. Freddie Anderson.
Yeah, 4th time's the charm, right? This is kind of like this game is, like you said, kind of exactly what we expected this series to look like. It only took 4 tries for it to resemble that. It's exactly the type of game that Carolina needed. I said it like in the Monday show. Like they need a low scoring, like low event type of game. The less chances, the better. They need that defensive grinding out style hockey, and they got that. Florida wasn't able to get much of anything going, which to be fair, like you said, they were without a lot of their top guns. But it was the first game of the series where Carolina looked like themselves. They used their game plan to their advantage and shut them down. So, I mean, I do think the score was close and the game indicates because it's 3-0, but those last 2 were empty netters. Yeah. So really it was a 1-0 hockey game. So Florida was in it, just couldn't quite solve Freddie Anderson. It was about time. Obviously, he had some rough games in this series of 5-6 plus goals, but he comes back in after Kachevkov played game 3 and
20 save shutout.
Looked like he did in the first 2 rounds, right? He, obviously he showed up for them. So good for him, good for the Canes. Don't think it's really going to matter that much in the long run. Like, okay, you won 1 game, you avoid the sweep. I mean, they did break the 15-game conference final game losing streak that dates back to 06 or 09, I should say. So props them there for finally breaking that drought. I mean, can that lead to something? Who knows? Probably not. But it is very amusing, too. I think we were both shitting on the Canes that Monday show saying, oh, yeah, there's no shot. This is the most obvious sweep of all time. And in true hockey fashion, of course, they find a way to come out on top. And the most boring game possible. Only the Carolina Hurricanes could avoid elimination and sweep in the most boring way possible. But that's Carolina Hurricanes hockey food. I think we're all really looking forward to watching more games of the Carolina Hurricanes in this playoff series. I'm sure you're just really on your feet for that live stream tonight, watching 2.5 hours of a Carolina Hurricanes hockey. Yeah.
I did put together a funny meme that was sent to me from Christian Garcia, and I remade it with CHR, so I'm going to put that out. I don't know if it's probably not CHR material, but I'll definitely be putting it on my Instagram.
I like it. I think that'd be a funny clip. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll tag you if you wanna repost it or something.
Repost.
Yeah. But follow my Instagram, Lee Grossman, if you're not following my personal yet. No Reinhardt, Mikola, Greer. I am seeing on Twitter right now that all three of those guys were on the ice for morning skate for the Panthers.
Reinhardt too? Oh, that's
Yes,
huge.
yes.
Because we were wondering about Reinhardt, right? Is that just a series thing? Is it a few games? And if they can get him back, man, that'd be huge,
Yes.
huge. Especially for the Cup too, because the Oilers will be missing a pretty good player too. We'll get to that later. So I think having Reinhardt back and full health will be huge for Florida.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
ESPN sends us the article.
Did they just get launched?
Literally right when we say that.
Look at that.
Panthers get Reinhardt, Mikola, Greer back for Game 5 versus Canes. And
Say goodnight, Carolina. That's a sign from the Lord there. Yeah, I think that's it for Carolina. It was really nice. It was very gentlemanly of Florida to let them have a game and give them the old gentleman's sweep tonight. I think we will be there for that, and I think those three should provide quite a spark that they were missing on Monday.
I am trying to deposit money into my FanDuel account right now because the line is pretty much at a pick 'em, and I would imagine it's going to start sliding towards the favor of
get on
the
that
Florida
now.
Panthers.
Yeah.
So sorry, I am going to filibuster
Chat,
for 1 second.
you're watching the betting man in action live. This is not an opportunity you get every day.
There you go. I got Florida Panthers at -118. Keep an eye on that line. Let's. I'll talk about it on stream before the game starts because I'd imagine it's not going to be at 118 when we get to puck drop.
Yeah, probably not. No.
Yeah, good news for the Florida Panthers to have
great
those
news.
guys back. Look, I mean, Carolina has been phenomenal at home all year long and in the postseason. They're obviously going to need it again tonight to stay alive. As I just placed a bet on Florida, you probably get a sense of where I'm leaning here. I don't think Florida's going to drop back-to-back games. I think this team has looked too good. I think they got to certainly tighten some things up. A lot of things I didn't like from them in that game 4. It just felt like they were playing with their food a little bit. And I understand, that's just the human psyche. It's hard to get over that hump. Like, you have absolutely dominated this team. You're one game away from the Stanley Cup final. You know that if you put your best game, your best performance on, you will beat this team.
Yeah.
And so I'd imagine that's it's a little harder to get up for games like that. But I think the Florida Panthers need to be more opportunistic in when they're in the offensive zone. They had a lot of really, I know they only had 20 shots on, and I'm not even so worried about them shooting more. They had a lot of really good looks in the first and second period of the game on Monday, but they weren't able to score. They need someone to be selfish. It's a lot of passing in the offensive zone, guys deferring to each other, almost trying to do a little too much at times. Because I understand it. They're clicking on a different level right now. Every single line looks unbelievable when they're out there on the ice. But it's someone needs to be selfish when they get in the offensive zone and rip one past Anderson. Because I think if you score the first goal in this game, you win it.
Yeah, it's almost like they're playing too well, or it's like they're kind of due for a game like that. I think it's kind of easy to get complacent when you've been dominating a team like that all series. But it's easy to forget too. I think it was a reminder. The Canes are a good hockey team. When they do show up and play to their system, they can make it a close game and come away with it. That's what you saw. This team was too good. You had a feeling they're going to at least win one in this series. So will they make it a series though? I have my doubts there. I do think if you could find a way at home, and like you just said, they have been a better team at home, a much better team. Not really in this series. They've kind of sucked at home in this series, but the prior series they were great. I don't know if they lost that at all actually. So if you could find a way at home and force a game 6, maybe you can make things interesting here. Just take it one game at a time. That's kind of all you could do. I mean, I really don't see this team pulling off the reverse sweep here. That's going to happen against this Florida team, but we shall see. I think Florida's going to lock back in and get back to the game. They kind of got away from it a little bit Monday. They're not going to get outshot like that again. I think that's this Canes team, and be more opportunistic, take advantage of those chances, and I don't think they have too much of an issue tonight. Come away with it because they can play that game too. They can use those same spells, those low scoring defensive games. They can win those tight games too. They've shown it many times. So if they can find a way to Uno reverse card the Canes tonight, I think that'll be all they need to end this series. And I think this series can't end soon enough for my sanity, your sanity, and the entire hockey world sanity. So hopefully we see that from Florida tonight, or maybe we don't, because maybe we want to get more live streams for the CHR.
Don't care. Don't give a shit.
Yeah, no.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. I'm good to have a Friday off. Thank you.
I think you and Tim Tebow over there should pull a Heat Daddy and just sleep through this
Take a
game
nap.
tonight.
Yeah, maybe. I'm sure the conversation in chat tonight will be very appropriate and completely related to the game.
You guys have really had a lot of conversations in this series that I've just been honing in on the analysis of these two teams in this series.
That's what me and Chad have been up to in these Canes Panthers live streams. We commune together, we get together, they come to chat, and we just talk about the game, like
nothing
the
else.
fine details, the intricacies,
of the systems,
just
and
the little
the
details, the
dump and
corner
chase.
battles. Exactly. Yes, that's all the stuff that
The
me and
schematics,
chat.
as Blashill would say.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
The schematics. Yeah, we've been just delving into that stuff on these streams together. So I'm sure that will continue tonight, right, chat? Yeah.
That's right. So y'all better be there tonight. You guys absolutely brought the energy last night for me, and I wanted to see that same energy for Lee Grossman. He's going to need it in this series. I don't blame you for the slightest for getting off on tangents, because the hockey being played, unfortunately, has not been that entertaining, to be honest with you. But maybe not will be. At least the Canes have brought some fight. Like, you want to see them go out with some honor here. It's like in some dignity, right? You want to put up a fight for your fans, right? They've kind of run to this wall in the conference finals throughout the Brindamore era, right? So good to finally get a win there and see if they can find some sort of momentum and carry this forward. Yeah.
Yeah, but from Florida's perspective, look, you got the horses back. No more playing with your food. End this now. They've had this like FU mentality this whole series from game one. You had Sveshnikov running through Bob. You had the Gossosphere slap shot on Marchand. I think it's been clear that this Florida Panthers team wants to embarrass these guys.
Yes.
And so now that you're back to full strength, no excuses. Go in there, run them over. I don't care if it's on the road. This Florida team plays better on the road. Especially
they love the adversity.
That second line too. Look for that second line to get. I know they've been the most dominant line, I'd say, for Florida this series, but I think they're gonna stay hot tonight. Keep an eye on that second line of
Chuck.
of Bennett, and they just
Bennett,
thrive in these situations. I think they're going to come in and combine for a few points tonight. So, I hope Florida's able to get this done, and even if they don't, and Carolina's able to force a game 6. Let's be realistic here. This Florida team's not dropping 4 straight.
I think for this series, they don't have to win it tonight. Like, they're going to come away with it. But I do think for the future series, I think it would be in their best interest to end this series tonight and get as much rest as you can.
Great point.
No drama. Because like, you let the Canes win tonight, suddenly it kind of, you can start to get some of that drama coming, man. You can start to give them that belief. That belief, as Marchand would say. Don't give this Canes team any life whatsoever. I mean, like you said, don't play with your food. You're a cat, man. Kill the prey. You got it in your sights there. You got it in your claws. Kill the prey. Let's not draw out the inevitable here, right? So just get her done, get the job done, and I think that would give them an advantage going into the Cup final, because on that other series it might last a little longer, or it might not. We'll get to it. Yeah,
and I think we'll use that as a segue now.
Well, we should probably do some score predictions first, right? Yeah.
I guess we can tee up. I guess. Fair point. Thank you for that.
May as well, right?
Yeah. So I obviously lean Cats here. I think it's gonna be a 4-1 Florida Panthers win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a similar type of game. Maybe flip its head a little bit to that Monday game. I foresee another low-scoring type of grinding out, dump and chase type of game where chances will be limited and hard to come by. So real estate is going to be hard to afford out there. You're going to have to negotiate, man. You're going to have to get in the trenches, the dirty areas. You know what I mean? All that hockey stereotypical talk that everybody says in the interviews. Pucks and deep. It's going to be the most stereotypical, that type of game. Pucks and deep hockey game. But I do think the Panthers are going to flip this on its head, and I'll say 3-1 Panthers will be the W. And I'll say that third line comes up big once again. What a prediction that is, right? I'd say Marchand finished up his cookie dough there and has another legacy performance. So, that's what I see happening.
Fair enough. And we will be doing cookie dough talk again on the stream tonight for all those. If you know, you know.
Unknown boy agrees. It'd be 3-1 Cats. We got a 5-2 Cats. Everybody. So nobody in the chat believes in this Canes team, eh? I don't think anybody does.
Which means the Canes are going
to win again.
Canes are going to win tonight, force a game 6. And then when everybody's like, uh-oh, what's going on with the Florida Panthers?
Then they're going to win. That's the way it works, man. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way the cookie dough crumbles. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm getting hungry. Thanks for all this cookie
You're
dough
welcome.
talk,
Yeah.
Justin.
Let's get to the more interesting series.
Yeah, we shall. It was your game last night, Tuesday. Great stream from all what I was able to catch.
Thank you.
Very entertaining.
The glazing is crazy.
For always.
Yeah.
Shocker. Common Justin W last night. It was an entertaining one. I think we both kind of were leaning towards the Oilers in that game. We were both correct. What did you see? How did you feel about it?
Yeah, no, I think I said it would be 4-3 Oilers. It was 4-1, so it wasn't quite right for the score, but I was right about the general theme of the game. And it's like, to stop for this one, man, you have an opportunity to kind of put the series away for Edmonton. They've been so good at home ice, man. That atmosphere. I mean, that's now 11 wins in the last 13. They're an absolute roll, and to win back to back at home and take the decisive 3-1 3-1 lead. Yeah, I mean, this Stars team is good, but I just don't think you're going to drop 3 straight W's against this Oilers team the way they've been playing. So I think they did exactly what they needed to do. I mean, it's not like they're the best team for the majority of the game, too. I actually thought for 40 minutes the Stars are kind of the better team, and then the third period kind of fell apart. We haven't seen that at all in this series. So I'd say outside of game 1, that's kind of been the theme of this series. I mean, close game for 40 minutes, and the Oilers kind of come on strong in the third. And just like the Cats-Panthers game, I'd say this game is closer than the scoreboard shows because 2 of those goals are empty netters, so it's really a 2-1 game, not really a 4-1 game.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and like they got contributions throughout. They got, obviously the German sniper there, Draisaitl, got the party started. But then they got other contributions. Corey Perry, he's been so good, man. Obviously for McDry there on the peeper, and 6 goals for him. He's been, obviously Shaq Hyman got injured out of that game, and Perry slots in that role, and he did a fantastic job. Unfortunately, though, for the Oilers, they do lose Zach Hyman, not just that game. They lost him, but he's actually out for the rest of these playoffs. So.
Yeah, so they announced. So the Hyman took an awkward hit from Marchman in the middle of the ice in the first period, and it seemed like right when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that looks like a broken wrist, like something shattered."
The Kirby Doc special.
The way he like threw his stick immediately and just had his arm kind of hanging there, I was like, "Oh, that does not look good." And when I was looking at reports today, I saw he's going to be out for the series, and then 10 minutes later, found out he's going to be undergoing surgery, so he's going to miss the rest of the postseason, which is a brutal loss for the Edmonton Oilers, because although he has not been as prolific on the score sheet this season and this postseason compared to last year, he has been making his presence known with the physicality. He's been all over and playing throughout the lineup, playing on the second line and also the first line. So, gonna be a big loss for them, especially if they do get through Dallas and have to play Florida in the Stanley Cup final. I mean, he's one of the more physical players on the team. So it's gonna be a big loss. But I mean, this Oilers team has been finding a way this entire postseason. It's seemingly like nothing has stopped them.
Yeah.
I've also heard that Ekholm is like possibly going to be returning for Game 5. So you lose
I feel like we've
one
been
thing.
hearing that, but if they can eventually get him back, that would be huge, right?
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe they go 11-7 if Ekholm's able to draw back in. Maybe we see Jeff Skinner back.
Good point. Yeah,
we'll see.
The Skinner brothers. Yeah, get them reunited.
We will see who ends up. And then I would imagine Perry's going to play on the first line. I'd imagine you move Frederic up, but we'll just have to wait and see what Chris Knobloch's going to do. What else did I want to say about this game? Oh, I called Leon Draisaitl multi-point night. I called Leon Draisaitl goal. Very happy for those bets to hit. Going to be using that coin and just rolling it into tonight, getting that Cats win. Then we just keep
He's
rolling.
cooking.
Yeah. Good performance from him. Sweet goal. I mean, that was such a Leon Draisaitl goal.
The accuracy, man. He could score from anywhere, man. Just he perfectly plays shot once again, and he's been on fire. And just when you have that two-headed monster there, a big try, it's like they can go through anybody, man. And that's the thing with this Oilers team, like you just said. I mean, it feels like each opponent stacked up on each other, and they've found a way. It feels like each series kind of seemingly got easier somehow in a way. Just seems like nothing can really stop them right now. And yeah, Zach Hyman, that's a tough loss, but I think they could find a way. I mean, they've been without their best defenseman in terms of defense throughout this whole playoff. So the fact that they'll be able to roll without him, and I think they can kind of do it as long as you have Big Dry. You're good. As long as you have those two, we're good, bro. We got it.
My favorite part of the game last night, and my sister came over, and we were about to leave and get food, and it was during the second period. And Draisaitl got tossed out of the face-off dot because he went too early because the fucking zebra psyched him out, which we've been complaining about on these streams every single night.
Every time, man.
And you just see Draisaitl in the back yelling at the ref, and then he's like... He makes fun of the ref for faking him out, and then he just has this big smirk on his face. And I was like, Katrina, you gotta fucking look at this fucking clown right here. That was hilarious. I love Leon Draisaitl.
He has a lot of funny moments like that, man. He's not afraid to give it back to whoever, whether it's the opposition, the ops, the refs, or even the media is not afraid to call him out. He has a funny personality, man. Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah, he just talks so much shit. I love his personality.
Oh, he can back it up too. He could afford to talk like that because he performs on the ice when it matters.
Yeah, in these big games. Also, something that I wanted to talk about, which I thought was crazy, was did you see Bouchard smacking Hintz in the exact same spot?
Oof.
That was the most old school shit I've seen in a while. These playoffs have just been so
like a
physical.
Callback, a throwback,
dude. Literally, these playoffs have been so physical. There's been so much controversy. These teams have been literally trying to hurt each other.
Yeah.
It's
like 1980s hockey.
dude, it's
Dogs would love this, man.
Yep.
Yeah, they should really get in on it.
It's straight up like warfare out there, you know.
Modern warfare, Call of Duty reference.
And these and these guys, they don't care. They're all engaging in it, and you can't point fingers. Like I saw a bunch of people being like, "Oh, the Oilers are so dirty." Man, all these teams in these playoffs have been doing it. We've been seeing them go after goaltenders. Nobody's off limits.
No,
I would not be surprised if we see maybe a Jamie Benn or somebody on Dallas going after 29 or 90s. I would not be surprised.
The Oilers are never really the aggressors in those situations. It's always in reaction to, which I think you got to be able to play like that. Like you can't play scared. You got to be able to play to your opposition, right, and give it back. I think they've shown themselves to do that, which in the past they haven't always had that ability. But I think now they know exactly what needs to be done. They know exactly how to play. I think that's why they've gone so far, and with less scratches than usual too. So that should do them well in the final, you would think. Yeah.
It's just setting up more narratives.
That rematch is going to be cinema, man.
Yeah. So I'm excited because
the rest of this series.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's over. Yeah.
Dallas is going back home. I think they're going to take that personally. Like I do not think that although the Marchment hit was kind of questionable, he left his feet a little bit. He was definitely trying to like chicken wing him a little bit. But Bouchard just blatantly going after.
That was a Bouch bomb. We talk about Bouch bombs with slap shots. So that was a Bouch bomb in another way.
He's literally trying to hurt a guy in a place that he got injured in.
Yeah,
so I mean, that's just as
eye for an eye, right?
Clear as day. So
you take out our guys, we take out yours.
And so what I'm saying is that I don't think that was eye for an eye. I think that was far greater than the hit on Hyman. So I think
it's
Dallas,
more unlucky, right?
I think Dallas is going to be looking for retribution in Game 5, and so I'm excited to see that. And I guess we can kind of roll into it.
Do we know like the Hintz injury? Do we know the specifics of that? Like how is he going to be?
I think he's.
He's good, right?
I think he was fine.
He's just shaking up, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It was just Bouchard hitting him on the skate again.
Yeah.
So I think Hintz is fine.
Yeah, he's good to go, right? Yeah. Also, another Game 4 masterclass. Have you seen Stuart Skinner's numbers in Game 4s? For whatever reason, they're like nuts. And that guy's been on one, man. I mean, he's had 3 shutouts and multiple, 2 back-to-back games of 1 goal allowed. So he's really shut the haters up, man. Suddenly he's resurrected into prime Grant Fuhr here. I'm not really sure where this came from, but good for him. They've been playing defensive hockey, and I think McDavid has proven those reporters right. They're wrong, I should say. Yeah.
I'm excited for Game 5. I think Dallas is going to win one here, to be honest with you. Hyman out. We'll have to wait and see what the lineup changes, but Dallas has just been so much better at home. I do see them bouncing back and coming up with a big win to force it to Game 6, but then I think I see Edmonton winning it in 6.
Yeah, well, let's see. Oilers won first round in 7, second round in 5. So I think winning the third round in 6 would make sense from the numbers standpoint if you're a numbers guy. But yeah, I'd say of the 2 series, I mean, obviously both of them are 3-1. I would say the Stars have a better chance of extending the series. I don't think either team has a shot of coming back completely and coming away with this. I do think it's going to be a Florida Edmonton Cup final rematch, but I do think the Stars have a better chance of forcing a Game 6. I think that Florida Cane series is done, as I just said earlier. I think that's going to be 5 gentlemen's sweep. But I think the Stars team is too damn good, but they're not going to go out in 5 games. Surely, like they're going to put up a fight. I think back home should be huge for them for the momentum and all that, and hopefully have a game similar, reminiscent of Game 1. Get back to your game here, and I gave it back to Edmonton. So need the contributions, man. You need contributions from your depth guys, right? More star power to show out. They have the facilities here. You got to have all the tools showing up, man. You can't have any passengers, so that's going to be tough. But I think they can do it, and they're going to need Otter to probably pull one out here. And
they got Jason Robertson back scoring, so hopefully his confidence is getting high. And look, I mean, if you're Dallas here, you took out one of their best players in Zach Hyman. That's the game now. That's the playoffs. Yeah. These guys really are
trying. The way it works this time of year, man.
Beat the other team up, and so this guy's out. If you're able to win Game 5 at home, then all of a sudden you're forced into Game 6 where it's like the pressure's back.
They could try to put some doubt in them.
The pressure's back on Edmonton, and so let's say if you're able to kind of pepper them tomorrow and put a bunch past Stuart Skinner, can creep doubt back in the minds of these Oilers guys. So I do still see a path for Dallas to come back here. I don't see one for Carolina, but I do see a path to where if Dallas is able to win in impressive fashion in Game 5, everyone's going to be talking about, we might have a series on our hands here.
Yeah, and by the way, I do think if Dallas wins Game 5, like I'm with you. I still have Oilers winning Game 6, but I think this Dallas team is good enough to where they have facilities, unlike the Canes, to come back and try to make it in this series interesting. I think they could definitely pull it off and maybe kind of put some seed down that Edmonton team. But I think back home for Game 6 anyway. I don't think it would really matter. I think they respond anyway. This Oilers team hasn't lost consecutive games in the playoffs since Games 1 and 2, so I don't think that would happen again. So, but yeah, I think Dallas. We'll see which of the two teams, because both. It's funny. You look at both these Canes and Dallas teams. They both had that similar issue where it's like they're always good in the regular season, they're always good in the playoffs for like a round or two, and then the third round, the conference finals, it kind of falls apart, doesn't it? So we'll see which one is able to cross that bridge first of the two and exercise those demons. Both of them have come up short, and you think at one point both these teams are inevitable for a cup run, but we'll see which one gets to the end first. But I don't think it's going to happen this year.
Yeah, I just want to come out and say, like, with Hyman out, I'm not going to be writing the Dallas Stars obituary just yet.
Yeah,
like,
you can't write them off.
I think that there's still definitely a path for them to come back and win this series now. But
there's a path for them. I wouldn't say there's much of a path for the Canes, but there is a path for the Stars. It's possible. Never say never for sure. And I'd like to see the series extend. Like, this is a series that, like, this shouldn't be a 5-game series. This should be a 6-7 game series. I think everybody was saying it'd be around a 7-gamer, tick for tap, band for band. So I'd like to see that. I think we're due for like a cinematic, like a OT type of game. I think that'd be nice for Game 5. That'd be fun. Yeah.
We do need one.
We haven't had one of these conference finals.
And no sweeps in the playoffs this year.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good point. So the Canes kept that trend going, and that's actually wow. I don't know if I actually realized that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
yeah.
I guess maybe you could argue more evenly matched this year. I don't know. Maybe it just happened.
In the first round, second round was kind of mid. And say the conference finals have been kind of mid. That's what I'm saying. Where it's like I want to have a cinematic finish this conference finals because I have a feeling the Stanley Cup is going to be great. But we need a little bit more juice out of these series. To be honest with you, I haven't really seen enough out of either one. To be honest with you, but I think of the two series that can give us something, I think Oilers Stars is more primed. I'm so glad I got to live stream the Oilers Stars games and you got stuck with the Panthers.
And
Canes.
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah. Justin will be live streaming the Oilers Stars Game 5 on Thursday again. So make sure you don't miss that and be there. And before we get out of here, give me your score prediction for that one.
Oh boy, this is a tough one. I hate to. Am I going to agree with you or am I not going to agree with you? I think you're picking the Stars. You know what? I think I'm actually going to. I think I was teeing up a Stars win, but. Many times I bet against this Oilers team, right? I overthink it. I'm not going to overthink it anymore, man. I'm going to go with my gut. I don't think it's really going to matter, to be honest with you. I think everybody and their mother is going to be picking the Stars with Hyman out back home in Dallas, right? Extend the series. But nah, I think the Oilers are on an absolute roll right now. I think it's going to be a sweep within a series, right? Because Stars took Game 1, and I think the Oilers take the next few. And just like Vegas, it's going to be 5 games. So I will say this one's going to be the barn burner. I'm going to stick with my 4-3 prediction, 4-3 Oilers, and it's going to go to OT, and then McDavid's going to send Edmonton to the Stanley Cup final for the revenge rematch against the Panthers, who already would have booked their ticket their previous days. So I think that's how I see it playing out. I think that would be very nice. Yeah.
I think it's going to be really low scoring. I think it's going to be 3-1 Dallas. They're going to score an empty net late. It's conference finals. It's do or die for the Dallas Stars. I think we tend to see unders hit in games and series like this. So, yeah, I think it's going to be Dallas by a narrow edge, but they get it done and force a Game 6. Yeah, I'll go 3-1 Dallas with an empty netter.
Well, Lee just predicted the Oilers to lose, so you already know what's going to happen. Yeah,
I'm going to be wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're going to be wrong. Yeah. What do you think I was going to say? You're going to be right?
Hey, I called that Game 3 pretty well.
You did, yeah.
I kind of nailed that, honestly.
You got one right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So I haven't been too far off with the Oilers anymore. I'm making adjustments. I'm learning this team, and I know I know this is a game they lose.
Better late than never.
All right, we'll see. A couple of Game 5s, 2 teams trying to keep their Stanley Cup dreams alive. We'll see if they can do it. We'll be live streaming tonight and tomorrow, so be there for the streams. We only got so many of these left, so don't miss them. Thank you so much for listening today. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new here and hit that notification bell so that you know when we go live for these streams. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, please give us a 5-star rating and review. And if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts specifically, download those episodes. It juices our numbers. And follow our Instagram, Chicago Hockey Radio. We've been putting out a ton of content on there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all we got for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you tonight. Take care. Brush your hair.
Adios.